Whoa, that was killer. So if you want to know how you can get the sound of a fully cranked tube amp in exactly this quality on your headphones, definitely watch the following video. We all know the problem with tube amps. If you play them at room volume, they sound scratchy and lack punch. If you crank them up until they sound good, you could blow the roof off and the police will show up. So it's really a problematic issue getting tube amps to sound good or practicing with them. But nowadays, there are some good solutions on the market. My solution to this problem is the wonderful Captor X from 2Notes, a brilliant device that lets you run your tube sound at room volume. So basically, as you just saw, you can play through headphones. So if you want to drive your tube amp into the sweet spot, but on the other hand, don't want to bother anyone, a piece like this is really ideal because you can turn the volume all the way down. You can even play through headphones, then it's completely silent. You can go into your DAW, meaning you can make recordings with it in exactly the same quality, namely the sweet spot of the tube amp. And beyond that, and here it comes, you can load a whole bunch of IRS. IRS are simulations of guitar speakers. You can load everything from cabinet simulations by the Slipknot guitarist, Steve Stevens, George Lynch, so an exact simulation of the cabinets of these famous guitarists, and can play with your amp head through these cabinets and use them for recording. Because as you surely know, a guitar speaker shapes the overall sound of a guitar amp by 30 to 40%, so it has a very big influence on the overall sound. And with these IRS, you can basically adjust your signal chain and tune it to your needs. Then this wonderful box also has a very good built-in reverb, an equalizer, a stereo tracker, which you can use to spread your signal. Especially interesting when you play with headphones, then you have the whole thing in stereo in your ears. I'll demonstrate that now in the rest of the video. Briefly, maybe the story of how the video came about. A few weeks ago, I made a video about the previous model in my series Perfect Guitar Sound. After that video, something nice happened. Ross, the marketing director of 2Notes from France, contacted me and told me that he liked the video very much and asked if I'd be interested in making a video about the new Captor model. Of course, I said yes and felt honored by the nice feedback. But important for you to know, this video, just like the previous one, is not subject to any requirements. I can say and do whatever I want, so there's no script or anything like that he sent me. The only thing, I received the device for the test and I'm sending it back too. That means you'll continue to get my honest and unvarnished opinion here on the channel, not distorted by any payments or other manipulations. So what exactly happened then? Here we have the new model and here we have the old model. Visually, they are almost indistinguishable from the outside. There is a small plus on the new model, but not on this one. Still, the new model has some nice features under the hood that I will mention and highlight now because a lot has really changed. And the great thing is, it is basically the same price as the previous model, maybe just a few euros more, but you get much more for it. The only external difference is actually that there is a USB-C port here. The old model still had a small USB plug, so this one already fits much better. But as I said, the important stuff in both products is under the hood, and we will take a closer look at that now. I will connect the new Captor to my computer via USB, and we will check out the remote software together. Okay, I have opened the interface here. It looks a bit different, a bit more modern, a bit cleaner. You still have the two different microphones down here, which you can adjust individually in volume. But what is new is that you can now also change the panning of the microphones. So one microphone, as you can see, I can place right in the center, but I can also pan it a bit to the left, the other a bit to the right, making the sound even more three-dimensional. That was not possible in the previous software. You always layered them and they were centered. Just like the previous model, you have an equalizer here that works very effectively. There is an enhancer here, which does something similar to an equalizer, but affects the bands a bit differently. Here is the reverb. I have chosen a spring reverb, and everything you will hear in a moment is from the software. My tube amp head is completely without effects, so it is totally dry. And there is also a twin tracker here, which I will show you in a bit. But first, let us have a listen to how this clean cabinet sounds. Nice and crisp. I will turn off the reverb and the twin tracker for you so you can hear the difference. I am not changing anything on the amplifier. And you notice how dry the sound is now. So reverb back on, and the twin tracker makes the signal a bit stereo by slightly delaying one side. So, and now we come to the great strength of the Torpedo. You can align the microphones more towards the center, more to the edge. You can use other microphones. There are always 8 of them. The 57 usually sounds a bit sharper. Also a new tool, the virtual load shaper. There you have, besides the normal equalizer, different bands here for how you can adjust your sound. Here's bright, let's see. You can hear it right away. There's more treble now. You can also turn on a custom mode and build your own frequency curve. So really great. That way you can absolutely do some fine-tuning on the sounds you've set up. Very well thought out. Also new are the new routing possibilities. I'm in normal stereo mode here. But you can also control dual mono, which means you can, for example, with one output for live use, give yourself your effects on the monitor and send a dry signal to the front of house, for example, or another frequency corrected signal. Also great. This way you can configure 2 different paths in a very simple way. Good, let's listen to another cabinet, also very nice, this Fender cabinet here. Yeah, absolutely awesome. Maybe you could add a bit more treble now. At the very top, so it shines a bit more. Okay, then let's head over to the distorted sounds and see what the device can do there. I have a nice little sound treat for you now, because I own a Mesa Triple Rectifier, the 2-channel one from the 90s. That's exactly the head that George Lynch also played in the 90s. George was the guitarist for Dokken, absolute platinum status in the US, maybe not quite as well known here in Germany. Superb guitarist, listen to this. And George, in collaboration with 2 Notes, has copied his cabinets based on their frequency response. So you can buy exact replicas, exact IRS of his cabinets from 2 Notes, and I've loaded them in here now. That means we're hearing the Mesa Triple Rectifier 150 watt, which you also heard in the intro through his exact cabinet. You can see it right here, the Lynch box, and the cabinet sounds. So now we can take a look at the load shaper here. Let's set it to neutral. And you'll notice how wonderfully the sound changes here, depending on what you adjust. I think we already had modern just now. Bright. That's a bit too sharp on the high end. Yeah, this cabinet is absolutely killer. Now you can do some fine tuning. You can add a bit more brilliance at the top in the enhancer. So let's move the cabinet a bit more towards the center. Or a bit more outwards for both, and you'll hear the whole thing changes. I'll set the panning so that we place one microphone on each side. Wonderful three-dimensional sound. Listen to that again in the track in a moment. I used the Mesa amplifier there, specifically with this cabinet. Let's listen to a few more factory presets. Let's go to the Hard Rock Hero here. Oh yeah, I almost forgot the gate, a noise gate that you can activate and fine-tune, also great. Here's a standard Marshall cabinet with vintage 30. So that one doesn't have enough bottom end for me. Let's change that. In the lows, crank it up a bit. Exactly, maybe a different microphone. And you can see how dramatically the sound changes depending on which microphone you're using. Yeah, so it sounds absolutely fat, and there's a huge collection of cabinets. The great thing is the three ways you can use it. You can record your tube amp in your studio in super quality. You can use it live, because the thing is nice and small and handy, and send your tube amp, or rather your IR signal, to the FOH. That gives a very good live sound. Or you can practice with your existing tube amplifier at bedroom volume, turn it way down to a really tolerable level, and you can still play in the sweet spot, meaning the power amps are working and you get a bit of power amp saturation, which is what makes the sound really dense and fat. Wonderful. So in conclusion, I think 2Notes has made a good device even better. You get an attenuator for little money. We're talking about 500 euros here, which is less than half of what the popular aux box costs, which allows you to play your tube amplifier through headphones. You get a very high quality IR loader, and you also get a range of effects with it, including a wonderful reverb, a twin tracker, and several different ways to adjust the EQ. There are also tons of IRs, which means cabinet simulations that you can buy separately. There are also, I believe, 32 preloaded, so there are a lot of very good sounding cabinets included when you buy the device, and purchasing additional cabinets is also very inexpensive. I think for 8 euros or so, there's a George Lynch cabinet or something from Slipknot or Steve Stevens, so really well-known guitarists who have made their original cabinets available to create an exact replica. Personally, I'm super happy that such devices exist because I haven't played my tube heads for years for the reasons mentioned. Now I have the opportunity to finally enjoy these wonderful heads again in their full sound, in their dynamics, and especially in their great tone, and I can finally play them again through this very cool device from 2Notes. Dear Ross from 2Notes, thank you very much for sending it and for the trust. The device will be sent back to you nicely packaged. I really enjoyed it, and it was incredibly interesting to compare the two products. The Torpedo is really a great sound alternative. If you otherwise maybe only play through plugins or modelers, then you can use your tube heads again with the full dynamics and the full sound spectrum that only a tube amp possesses. If you liked the video, be so kind as to give me a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, and hit the bell. That gives me more reach, and that's the greatest gift for a YouTuber, having more reach and reaching as many people as possible. Thank you, and have fun with your tube sound. I'm getting started on the next video. I am starting a brand new series starting next week. It's about guitar setups, so basically how to adjust everything, how to maintain the neck, how to maintain the frets, how to adjust the action. I'll explain it to you simply and clearly how it works, because you should be able to do it yourself. What if you have a problem with the guitar while playing live? Then you also need to be able to fix it. You cannot exactly have a luthier flown in for that. So tune in, it'll be exciting, and you can definitely learn a lot. I'm signing off now. Stay healthy, and above all, have fun playing the guitar. See you then, bye.